First time taking on this glorious race circuit, and they just have this one practice session to get up to grips with it. We have a new driver on the circuit as well, which we will tell you all about in just a second.
Compound slick towards the end of this session. A first look though at a car in different colours this weekend, and that's because James Wharton takes over the high-tech from Martinius Stenshorn, and an immediate first look at our new driver.
Yeah, welcome to FIA Formula 3, James Wharton. He's been racing in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine this season. He steps in for Martinius Stenshorn, who is suspended from taking part in this round due to taking part in a race here at Silverstone that he did not have permission to take part in. So James Wharton will step in for his place for this round. It is his debut, just 45 minutes to get up to speed.
Their previous life under a different name, so those personnel and those engineers who've worked in British domestic series, because we do so much racing at Silverstone, often have an advantage in terms of how to set the cars up and how to manage the drivers and the tyres around this racetrack.
Down to Stoke Corner, he's having a superb season. Gabriele Mini, one of the championship contenders, sitting in second. Many drivers sat in pit lane so far, but Tim Tramnitz is our leading driver in this session. Noel Leon in second place, Charlie Wirtz in third. Let's watch Gabriele Mini across the line as he comes around the final corner now and gets himself onto the Hamilton straight, and Gabriele Mini goes P2. There's more aren't out there. I mean, we've got half the field yet to set a time. It's due, I mean, every website you look at is different, but I'm going to go with the last one I saw. Wet tomorrow, possibly all day. We could get lucky Sunday, is the last forecast I saw, but it could be, who knows, it could be wet all the way throughout the weekend. It's Silverstone, we just don't know. You've raced here several times, you don't know what you're going to get. Are you surprised we're not seeing more? It looks like more drivers are starting to maybe put some sectors together, but it is worth it, isn't it? Just getting out there and getting a feel for the track.
Right, like this, it has a peak of pace that you take out of it early on in the sessions, and then it really starts to fall away. So you could easily see front-running drivers now limit their running to protect the wets that they have available to them.
Now this season, Nicolas Solov, the driver backed by Fernando, or managed by Fernando Alonso, on the top step of the podium again last time out in the sprint race, just seems to be finding some form, finding the pace we all knew he had as a Spanish F4 champion, the young Bulgarian, very young still, 17 years old, backed by the Alpine Academy, comes around the final corner onto the Hamilton straight, and Nicolas Solov to the top of the times in free practice.
Jumped in form throughout the weekend where you know where to point it.
He's a GB3 champion, and this for him could be a massive season.
That's where they're riding the brake to drive temperature directly into the brake disc. So there we go, listening to it there. Yeah, just leaning on the brake pedal with the left foot. There you go. While he's on his outlap, just to try and build brake temperature, and in doing so, you build tyre temperature.
His only practice session, but he hasn't really had many chances to do so. I guess while we don't have much on-track action, Alex, a good chance to congratulate our Formula 3 alumni driver who finished on the podium here a couple of years ago, Ollie Behrman, who yesterday signed his Formula 1 contract for 2025 for the Haas F1 team, finished third in this championship 2 years ago, finished on a home podium here at Silverstone in that superb last lap battle with Zach O'Sullivan as well, the two British drivers on the podium together. Section of corners into Vale and Club now. Has done a very good season so far. It's been very consistent, hasn't quite hit the points yet, but has been consistent, always in the top 20, knocking on the door in terms of qualifying of a top 12.
On the outside in the wet, you can feel the difference in the tarmac texture under your fingertips when you drive a single-seater around the outside of Copse. Maggots becomes a corner in wet conditions, and this is the slippery section. The way into Beckett, you've got to be incredibly patient. Lovely rotation on the way in for Dino Beganovic. Too much rotation on the way out as he heads towards the DRS zone, which is down the Hanger Straight. Over on the inside as on his way into Stowe, braking offline and then cruising across the road, and it's round the outside again of the constant radius right-hander. The rear tyre crying enough a little bit at this stage of the lap. Tricky and clumsy through the veil. You've got to try and cut it back. Lovely control of the little bit of a rear lockup. Beganovic commits to clumping the inside curve and taking the shortest distance. Then there's a river often that runs across the road through the outside of Club. You've got to get out of the throttle and back in. Beganovic a little bit slower than what's been achieved before, but a good lap considering the conditions.
Through the onboard lap there, great stuff. But Dino there, you can see how much you have to wrestle with the car. See just through the cameras how much the conditions have changed, how worse it has got now. It was clear through those lenses a little while ago. Now it's quite clear that the rain really is coming down. We will not see changes to the top of that order. This is just getting laps in the wet conditions, as Alex said a few minutes ago when it changed.
Interestingly there, I'll have to look at it again. Fornaroli looked like he had DRS open in wet conditions, which they don't normally have.
No, they usually disable it. We'll have a look when he comes on to...
I've not seen on the race control screen that it's been disabled, but for all the world there appeared to open the DRS flap.
Hanger Straight are the two DRS sections. Noel Leon. Oh, nice bit of drifting.
Just making sure the gravel stays in the bed there. Thanks for that, Leon, as he makes his way through the exit of Luffield. That's the challenge. You can see the damage to that rear left tyre in Copse. Luke Browning still having absolutely none of it. Both him and Tommy Smith not done laps in this session so far. Browning looks like he basically won't be participating in this one, which he has every right to do. Browning there. What that is a hedge towards it being wet for qualifying. Right. So what he's done is he's kept two sets of new wets, so he can have a couple of goes at it on a new set of wets, which do give you more traction and performance without power. Yeah, it's interesting strategically. Drift difficult conditions.
Look at that now.
In terms of the visuals down the Hanger Straight there. So drivers all out there, or most of them out there making the most of it. Trying to get the laps in, trying to get a feel for the racetrack here. To do if you have to move the car back towards dry conditions as Mini crosses the checker.
There is the checkered flag for this session. Gabriele Mini, who we were following there, the Prima Racing #2 Alpine Academy driver, comes across the line. Max Esterson watching from the pit lane, the fastest driver overall, the American, leading the session. We saw...
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, trying to reach 1,500 subscribers. Please also comment and like as well if you want to see more of this kind of video. Peace.